All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is a new thing that I'm trying to do, and let's see if we can continue this as far as bringing on guests, bringing on YouTubers, bringing on people from the stream who want to join. All right, here we go. Let's do this in three, two, and in one. Oh, of course. Oh, my camera. Oh, that's so funny. It was working all up until now. It was working until now. Let me see. So this, I'm gonna go ahead and close up my camera. Let me see if I can bring it back up. And it was working perfectly. Perfectly. Let me see if I can add the camera again. 1 second, guys. So let's go. Turn off the camera. Turn it back on. Well, ain't that a shame? All right, so I guess once it's starting to work, I guess it has to stay there. Nope. All right, well, it's going to be without me, but hopefully Chris's camera is going to work. We're going to bring on Chris in just a moment, but let's go ahead and show the crypto bubbles. So right now we're looking at the crypto bubbles. You're going to see this popping on and off. Just me trying to restart the camera. Anyway, right now we have crypto bubbles. This is on the daily time frame. Of course, COAI is extremely volatile. It goes up a whole bunch, and then it comes down a whole bunch. And let me see, everybody's in here. All right, very nice. Let's see here. Let's go to the hourly time frame. On the hourly time frame, we can see that the price or these coins are starting to come up. Does that mean Bitcoin's going up? We're going to find out in just a moment. We're going to look at the CMC, the Coin Market Cap Alt Season Index, ASI. And right now we're at 28. Yesterday we're at 26, so we're coming up. Last week 35, and before that 69. Let's go to the liquidations. We're going to refresh this one more time. We're going to be looking at the 24-hour time frame. On the 24-hour time frame, you can see that we just broke through all of these areas of liquidation. 64 million. Then we had 60 million. Coming up here, 67 million, and then 65 million. OMG. Let's go to the 12-hour time frame. On the 12-hour time frame, as we go up, we do create liquidity towards the downside. As we come down, we create liquidity towards the upside. So right now, we're getting really close to this, but since we've come up a really nice way, I would think that potentially we may come down to maybe 112,231, according to the liquidation heat map, maybe even down here to 111,937 before potentially continuing up. Market makers, they love to take the liquidity, and that's one thing that they're known for. Anything else that I want to show on this? Let's go over here to Pumpy. Pumpy, we've been going over this for some time now. Just looking horrible. We're looking for potentially it making a high, and then we can enter the high. It's just looking awful. This is saying that if it pumped and we had we had an entry, we're not going to take it because of the pump. So again, all this is just training, teaching. Let's go over here to let's go Clash. So on Clash, it started looking like it was dying, and I'm thinking, okay, we may come up, come down, and then just roll over. But if we do break the high, what we want to do is we want to enter here off of the 4-hour time frame. Right now, we did have price come up, sideways come up. This, in my opinion, it'd be a nice entry. So let's go and do this. So this right here is an entry, and I do not want it to break this low. If it breaks this low, we close the trade, because then it can continue losing its momentum. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, issues, let me know. Let me know. So we got Clash for Lil Caspa. We took care of that one for you. And I'm going to go with the chat. Once again, we do have a special guest. Chris is backstage. And once again, hopefully his camera works. Hopefully he does not have an Elgato, because the Elgato for me stands for no Elgato camera. I don't gato camera. Thanks Elgato. You're the best. All right. So let me go ahead and catch up on the chat. Very nice. So let's go over here. We got Mike in the house. What's up, Mike? Appreciate you, man, for being here. Appreciate you. We got Chris showing up on the show in just a few moments. Holy smokes. We got a super sticker, $20 for character dancing under a rain of confetti and taking his hat off. You are amazing. And Alexander G. If my camera was on, you would see me dancing. I've never danced before, especially on stream. I am dancing. Well, okay, fine. I'm moving. I'm swaying from side to side on my chair. But thank you, Alexander G. You're the best. Let's see here. She says, Lurker, mining that fiat. Well, thank you. You're the best. You are the best. All right, going down the list, we got Steve in the house. Thank you, Steve. And of course, here it doesn't. I'm using Restream, and it doesn't bring up what the little things are, little pictures. Let's see. We got David Brumbelow in the house. Thank you, David. Appreciate you, man. The Brumbelow is here. Very nice. Going down the list, and Daniel Crypto, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for sending the raid over. I greatly appreciate you. You know, even if you just have one, I greatly appreciate you. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually answer some questions later in the show. So that's going to be very important. If you have any questions, make sure to put it in here. Hopefully I can find or see your questions. Okay, got the rest of the chat going down the list. And then Steve says it's going to be a fun stream. Yeah. And all it is, like, this is basically just, you know, trial and error what we're doing. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me. Very good. And then Steve says, Daniel can help. Yeah, I think I just need to put that in the recycling bin because it always gives me problems, regardless of what computer I have it on. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and switch up the stream or switch up the screen that I'm sharing. And we're going to show the screen. All right, so we're not going to show you that. That's an actual trade from the VIP. That's an actual trade from the VIP. But right now, what we're looking at is we are looking at Bitcoin on 1 hour time frame. So the price was here yesterday, and we were mentioning that potentially the price may come down. And if it comes down, it's fine. If it comes down here, hopefully it bounces in this box and then come up. Then this morning, you know, the price came down here and was here. And this morning I made a video for my VIP members, and I mentioned, you know, we could roll over, you know, come up from here. Definitely come up from here, in my opinion. Of course, nothing's definite, but we may come up here, then roll over and continue this. So the blue is my updated thought process. Or we could come up, bounce off of this, and then continue to the upside. The main thing is to break this level. Now, did I expect this ginormous candle? Nope, sure didn't. However, what I am looking at is either the break of this level to re-enter this zone to continue to the downside, potentially, or the break of this. It's always level by level. Sure enough, price came up, broke to this level. Now, what do I think might happen? My thought process. Well, I think it would be healthy if we pull back. You know, if we continue up, the pullback, in my opinion, is going to be harder unless, and this is the part I hate, unless the FOMO continues and we continue going up. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But here, I would love to see a retrace right to this area, then a continuation out. This is what I would like to see. Let's go and put this one in yellow just so we know it's an update. Put that a little bit thicker. And then if we do get a pullback and it starts coming up, this is what, if we were doing shorts, and right now we're not in any shorts, this is something that we could look at as well, where we retrace, bounce, come up, do a lower high, but instead of fighting for this top, we actually come down, go back into this range, and then start coming down. So again, what we're doing is we're always looking for the potential, you know, both directions, plan A, plan B. All right, guys. So just in a few seconds, we're going to have Chris come on to the stage. We're going to ask, well, he's going to ask me some questions. I'm going to ask him some questions. And it's a Debbie Downer, really, that my camera is not working. So let me go ahead and try the camera one more time. And let's see if the camera is working. And no. Great. All right. So let's go ahead and bring on Chris to the stage, and then we are going to basically just get some information and see where we go. All right, so here we go. Here is Chris. Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on? Okay, mine works and yours doesn't. That's very interesting.
It was working fine. It was right before the show. It was working perfectly. Then I hit the screen, and I came back up, and then it stopped. But it's all good, though. The show must continue. So,
yeah, it's got to be on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So first question for you, actually, Chris.
Yeah.
How long have you been trading?
Well, actually, it's almost been 2 years. Well, actually, in less than a month, it'll be 2 years. November 17th of 2023.
Very nice. Now, when you started your trading career, or, whether it's a hobby or a career, question is, when you first started, did you start learning how to trade, or were you just kind of buying and selling and holding? What was your thing? Did you get in with the thought process like, man, I got to learn this stuff, and you started learning right away?
Yeah, it was. I went in like right away, as hard as I could, as deep as I could. What happened was, an old friend of mine, actually, he had been into this since like it started basically. And one day he, what was it when Bitcoin hit, like, I think it was like 42, like right when I got into it or something, like it was around that price. And he came in, he threw like, was it $120 on my chest, and he's like, here, throw 100 of this into Bitcoin right now. I know you want to start. I'm like, boom, okay, then I did. And then he got me into it. I bought, my first hold was Caspa, and then he got me into futures trading right away too, because I really wanted to do that. And my first futures trade actually was, I think it was Cake, which is kind of interesting. It's a little different, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yeah. Now, have you joined any groups, paid groups? Like, are you in any paid groups?
I'm in your group, but I'm not in any others, no.
Okay. Are you in any free groups?
Well, I'm in your group, yeah.
Okay. Very nice. So who do you follow right now as far as like how to trade?
Good. Oh man. Well,
your top three. Your top three.
Top three. Oh boy.
It's okay.
I would say
no pressure. Hold on, no pressure. You do not have to include me in this list. Your top three.
No, I'd say the top three would be you, Road Dogg, and I'd say Alex O's up there too for sure. Alex O Crypto.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a test. If you did not say me, I was going to kick you from the stream. No, I'm playing. So for me, I absolutely love Alex O Crypto. He shows you how to really trade. Like, he doesn't do a lot of this, showing you what already happened, how you could have made money. He shows you, and he does live, like, active trades. Same thing with Road Dogg. Like, he shows you how to trade. He shows you all the resources you need. So yeah, to be in that list, it's an honor. Really, it is. All right. So here's the next question. So, do you have both a hold bag or a hodl bag? Do you hold coins and also trade, or do you just hold?
Both. Mainly, I mean, the main reason why I do both, I mean, I know hodling is way safer, and I do prefer that. But I mean, on these dips and stuff like that, when stuff comes down, it just makes sense to short the market and try and, buy the dips that way, I guess, is a little, I don't know, I look at it that way, and just to accumulate and make up for the loss that I'm, losing in my bags in general. Really, that's one of the main reasons why I do it.
Yeah, and that's to me, the smartest way is to do exactly what you're doing. Having that spot bag, because you could wreck your account really, really easy with leverage, very easy. And most traders do it, where they'll have a trade in, and then they'll get super, like, their emotions take over. And then now what they're doing is, oh man, I lost $1,000 or $500 or $5, whatever it is, and let me make it up. But if you have that, hodl bag or bag you're just holding, if you're down, okay, well, I just add to it. Hopefully I get paid next week, and I can throw in $50 or $5 or $1,000, whatever your money is, and then you're actually building. So that's, man, what you're doing is really smart. Now, Steve has a great question for you, Chris. Are you a full-time trader?
Right. Yeah. Right now. Yeah, I am for sure. Yeah.
Very nice.
Definitely. Yep.
Very nice. All right. So now, of course, you have some questions for me. What is the first question? And let's see if I can answer that question.
Okay. Well, I guess it was actually one of the questions that you had for me. It was the same. Well, I was saying it was basically the last question you had for me was, what do you do more of? Do you hodl or do you futures trade, and why? That was one of the questions.
Yeah. So the smartest thing to do is buy and hold, and we can see that time and time again. And it's again, this is so easy to see in hindsight. But if we were just to, because this has actually happened to me many times, where we're in the trading group, and then we enter a trade and we get out. We enter a trade and we get out. We enter a trade and we get out. We enter a trade and we get out, and we forget about it. We go to another coin, then we go back to the coin to trade it, and it's way up here. That's like, oh man, if we would have just held this coin, man, we could have made a lot of money. So that's why one of the reasons why I started doing this, especially in August for the VIP group, is buy and hold, because right now we're really close to that cent, and this was just the market makers just liquidating everybody. But if you have spot bags, the lower entries that we had, 25, 35, even 45% lower, we got in those bags, and now we reduced our entry, so now we're in profit. But yes, so to answer the question, spot bags are very important. I do hold some of those. And then I play with leverage. I love leverage. Leverage it gets the blood going. I really love it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing with me though, I am not an emotional trader. And this is one thing, I watch a lot of people. And when I see them and they're getting, and you can see it too, like they're getting anxiety and they're hyping up, yeah, and this and that. But like I'll see them, they'll take a deep breath in and they're like, because their anxiety is getting to them. And it's like, man, like that's the first thing we have to do as a trader is control our emotions. And the biggest question that I have is, and I've helped hundreds and hundreds. I want to say even thousands of people, but hundreds on a one-to-one. But with that being said, the biggest question I have is, how do you trade like a robot? Everybody says it, trade like a robot. And for that answer is, well, you have to trade. If it hurts when you see that price coming down and it's going the opposite way and it hasn't hit your stop loss yet, and like you're getting anxiety and you can't go to sleep, and you're trading with too much money. So to fix that, trade with less, have less margin if you're doing leverage, have less amount if you're just doing regular spot, and then maybe your stop loss is too much. Maybe you can't handle a 25% stop loss. Maybe you can only handle a 7%. And that way you're not trading with those emotions. And that is what really helps you learn to just trade like a robot. Because now it's like, okay, I can lose $50. $50, nothing. $50,000, oh man, that's I can't sleep after that. So that's one of my big questions that I get. So what's the next question?
Next question. Well, actually, the thing is too, I don't have as many personal questions. I actually have more like chart questions and like chart tools questions, actually, if that's okay with you.
Dude, load me up, man. Load me up.
Okay, sweet. Okay, cool. So, and this is actually one that I personally have like kind of a problem with. I haven't really dabbled in too much, actually. So it's actually on me too. It's not just like to ask. So like, okay, so I really haven't looked it up, really haven't paid attention to when people talk about it, honestly, and I don't know why I haven't, but what is the VWAP?
Okay. So that is a great question, and it's actually one of my most favorite tools. So besides my normal, because they always, what are my favorite indicators? First one for me is always price action. Price action is number one. Number two, countdown to bar close. That's number two. And then number three would be either the VWAP or the fixed range volume profile or the moving averages. But we're going to get to the VWAP. So let me go ahead and just change my background. Oh, I don't have it on here. But yeah, so the VWAP, what is it? Let's go over here. Oh, that's
probably
just
so bad that I asked that too.
What's that?
I said it's probably so bad that I don't know that either.
Oh no, And that's the thing too. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been trading. It doesn't matter. Like the main thing that we want to do is there are no dumb questions. They're either questions we've had before or haven't thought of yet. So for the VWAP, and you can find it over here, you just type in VWAP. And what it is, and what I love doing, I actually have this in my group, but it's the volume weighted average price. So what it does, it's the volume for the price, and it's the average of that. So any type of average is good. This is why I love the VWAP. This is why I love the moving averages, because it's an average. And this is why I love the fixed range volume profile, because it shows you the majority of the volume. Volume is extremely important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click here and I'm going to show you a few things. So we're going to take this off, take this off, take this off. We only want the VWAP. Now what I do is I normally make mine a little bit thicker and I make it blue. We're going to go, okay. We're going to go to the daily. Nope, let's go to an hour. That way you can kind of get away from the price action. So what this is saying is that the volume for the average weighted for the price is down here. And this goes for anything, any kind of average. If the price is above it, just to simplify, it's good. If it's below it, not so good. Same thing with moving average. If the price is above your moving average, whether it's the 9, 21, 50, 200, whatever it is, if the price is above it, it's an average, it's good. Below it, not so good. Same thing with your fixed range volume profile. If the price is underneath your point of control, not so good. Above it, good. Because all this is doing is showing strength. So having the VWAP on your screen, which is really good, it shows you the strength of it. Now, in addition to the VWAP, I love using an anchored VWAP. And the anchored VWAP, I like using it from the swings. And if you're unable to determine where the swing is, go to a higher time frame. It's kind of like a little cheat sheet. And it'll show you your main pivots. So here we have a low and a high. So what I do is I use the anchored VWAP, and that's located over here. I have it starred so they're on my toolbar. But for the anchored VWAP, what I'll do is I'll go from the low, and it automatically anchors it to this area and gives me the average. Then what I'll do as well, kind of do like a little range. I'll click on the top, and it gives me this band. So this is one of my other little cheat sheets. And instead of using a Bollinger Band, which basically just shows you the moving averages, that's pretty much all it is. But this gives me the average of the volume for the price. So this is one of my cheat sheets in addition to the other stuff that I use. And you can see sometimes it bounces right off of it. Sometimes it goes right through it. Again, these are averages. So it doesn't mean that it will bounce or it will get rejected. It just means here's the average. The likelihood of it getting rejected is pretty high, but it's not 100%. Same thing with it finding support, pretty high, but not 100%. Here it bounces. Here it goes right through it. Then it goes right through it again. Then it bounces. Then it goes right through it. So again, whenever we have these levels, whether they're moving averages or VWAPs or anchor VWAPs, and we can even throw on our VWAP. And I normally have my VWAP on. But for this VWAP, let's go ahead and change this one to a yellow. Just so we can kind of see the difference between, and here it really doesn't show too much because it's on the daily. But if we go to a lower time frame, let's go to a 1 hour again, you can see it kind of moves away from it. Now, a lot of traders, what they'll do, since this is the average, they have the thought process, the price will go to the average, and that's false. The price has a higher probability of going to the average. That's true. However, it doesn't have to, because this is an average and this follows the price or the volume for the price. If price continues to go down, guess what the average is going to do? Same thing with the moving averages. They're going to come down to the price action. A lot of people, they have the misconception because it's repeated over and over and over again by their mentors that the price will go to the moving average, will go to the average of the VWAP, will go to whatever average it is. The price does not go to anything. The the moving average or the volume or the VWAP goes to the price because this is the reason this is up here. Now, if price does go up, then the likelihood of it coming up to here is high because this is the average. However, it's not going up here to follow it. It's and of course, I know y'all are going to say it in the chat, but this is not a magnet. This is the
Magnet.
average. Yeah, magnet. Throw the magnets in the chat, guys. So this is an average. So the likelihood of it coming up here is great if it breaks this level, breaks this level, breaks this level, breaks this level. We have the higher chance that it coming up here to the average, but if the price continues going down, this average will move down. So so to answer the question, as far as what is a VWAP, it's the average volume of the price. And volume, in my opinion, is extremely important because that's where all the price happened, all the buys, all the sells. And to me, this would be a targeted area for, let's just say we enter this trade based off of the break of this level. My first target would normally be, where the pivots are at. But if I have this on my screen or my chart, I could definitely use that as my target. And I do it underneath it because everybody else has theirs on it. I do mine underneath. So I get I'm first in line. My targets will get hit before anybody else's because, well, mine are before everybody else's. And that's where I would have my target. Great question. What's the next question?
Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much for answering that. I'm going to be using that a heck of a lot more often now. So thank you very much, Joe, for sure. Okay, so my next question is, what are the value area lows and the value area highs?
Okay, so that is another great question. Man, I love these questions. So for the value area high, that's due to, let me go ahead and clean up my screen a little bit. So let's go to, now there's two different ways you can do this. You can use well, let's come all the way down here. It's the visible range volume profile. I do not like the visible range volume profile. For one, it shows you whatever is visible. So here is my point of control, illustrated by this red line. If I move this, and I move this, and I move it like so, the point of control was here, and now it's way down here. I don't want to see something that moves. If I'm going to be in a trade, I want to have it to where it does not move. And if I do something like this, again, this is the visible range. So whatever you can see on your chart is where the point of control is going to go. This does not help me one bit. However, if I'm doing a trade, let me go ahead and just, let me see here. Let me go ahead and hide everything. Let me go to this, and hide all this. Here we go. So now that we went over the VRVP, which I don't like one bit. Oh, wrong one. We also have a fixed range volume profile. This is on my favorites. So on the favorites, what I do is I click here because I don't know where they're at. You come over here and then start. Again, if you click on the star, it'll put it on your floating toolbar and you get the floating toolbar and move it anywhere you want. But one thing that this does, and this is best for a range. So here we can kind of see we're in a range. And that too is very important, that it's in a range. We can see that we went up, we came down, we're kind of in the middle. So this is a range. So what you can do, go from the very start of the range. And the easiest way to see this, if you don't know, just go to a higher time frame, and that way you can see the lowest point and the highest point. So what this does, and let's go into my settings. So in the settings, roll size 250. What is this? Well, if you adjust this, you'll see it, but it makes these candles, or the volume, a bunch of candles versus having 3 or 4 big candles. So for me personally, I like 200 and 250, but I do the 250. Then volume up and down, 70. My style. These are my styles. You can copy them if you like. What does it do though? If we kind of zoom in here, we can see exactly what it's showing. We have up, down, up, down, up, down. What is this showing? This is showing the volume, the amount of volume that occurred in this specific range. That's what this is showing. So anywhere in here, it's showing the amount of volume that either made the price go up or down. And since this is the highest or the most volume, this is our point of control. This is where a lot of stuff happened. So because of this, this serves as a good area for support, resistance. Now, is this really, really strong to where, let's say, for example, a daily support resistance level, in my opinion, is much stronger than this point of control. Even we're on the 1 hour, but even if we were on the daily, the support and resistance level would be stronger for me than a point of control, because the point of control just shows where everything happened. However, the support resistance level on the daily shows where it stopped. It stopped here. It stopped here. These are very strong levels. This just shows, again, we're on the 1 hour, but even if this was on the daily, that just shows the area where there was a lot of volume, but not the tops and the bottoms. So here you can see price came down, tapped it up, then broke right through it. Then broke right through it. Kind of bounced on it, broke right through it. Here, kind of got rejected, came down, broke right through it. Broke right through it. Got rejected, broke right through it. Broke right through it. Kind of rejected and then just broke right through it. So again, this strength, if I had to judge it from 0 to 10, I would say this is about a 4. Support resistance, I say it's about a 7. And of course, the higher time frame, the stronger the support resistance. Now, to answer the question, value area high. Well, this is the peak. This is where we had a lot of volume. This is also where we had a lot of volume as well. Oh no, but this is the lowest portion of this volume. So here we have a nice volume, but here's the lowest portion. Here we had a nice volume, and then here, according to this, is showing the highest volume. So this is giving us a range from our value area low, which we're doing really nice as far as the support, and then our value area high, which could serve as resistance. And this is always moving. The more candles we have, so if the price continues to go, let's just say it comes up to here, gets rejected potentially due to the value area high. A lot of people don't see this when they're only looking at this. I look at this because this is my zone. And so I could actually have this on my screen, not have the fixed range volume profile, and still identify where there's volume. How do I know where their volume is? When I see ups and downs. If I see a drop, all that means is that it's a low volume node, and we can see that. Let me see if I can get an example. We're right here. So we can see a low volume node right here. And why do I think it's a low volume node? Is because there's no ups and downs. So here we're kind of going up and down, up and down, up and down. Then we shot straight up. Low volume node. Then we shoot straight up again. Low volume node. Then we shoot straight up again. Low volume node. So without having this on my chart, I can see because, well, price went up. There's not all these ups and downs. Now, one thing that I also noticed is that a lot of mentors out there will say, well, we broke our value area low, so we're coming down here because of this low volume node, and here's the level. That statement is very false, because what it's doing is giving you a definite, oh, it broke this, it's going here. My mentor, he's very smart and successful. He said it's going here, so here's my target. However, support resistance can be made anywhere due to the market makers. Price can come up, down, up, down, up, down, and then change direction here. Does not hit your target here, but instead reverses due to the people, the market, the volume. So be very careful with who you watch. Be very careful with the statements that are made. I always say nobody knows what's going to happen. Price can do whatever it wants, and it could break the value area high. Here it served as resistance, very nice. Came down, broke the PLC, and normally the same people who say that if it breaks something, it's going to go, they will say it broke the PLC, it's going to the value area low. Here, perfect example, it did not. It created this level of support, started coming up, started breaking levels to the upside, broke our point, our value area high, retested, and then took off. So again, everything that I'm showing you in the moment versus, after the fact. But that hopefully that answers the question in reference to value area high. This is the highest, this is the range for the volume. We have a value area high, low, point of control. And sometimes the point of control is way down here. So it just depends on where you grab it from. In my opinion, it's easier to see on lower time frames. For example, the 1 hour, possibly 4 hour, so that you can see all of these ups and downs where you may, okay, well, here's a value area high, but I also see this box. So what I could do is I could actually draw this box using the magnet tool. And I like using the candle body closes and candle body closes. So I could actually do this in addition to the value area high. So if the price comes up, I would think that we have a pretty good chance of getting rejected on this until potentially, maybe comes up here, retraces about 38%, maybe even 50% before doing a lower high, which is fine. Everybody freaks out on that. And then we start breaking these. So this is my thought process. Great question.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That was way in depth, and that's great because I needed all of that because I didn't know all of that about that. So that's like amazing. Thank you very, very much, Joe. Seriously, that's awesome. Well, my next question is, and this one is actually kind of weird because I've been like playing around with this one a lot lately, and my favorite tool is actually the Fibonacci levels. And I was wondering, so of course I'm sure you use the fib, and if you do, or when you do, how many do you use at a time? Because me, actually, what I do, I'll use 3 at a time on the same chart. I'll take one, put it on the 4 hour, one on the 1 hour, and one on like the 15 minute. And depending on which way it's going on that time level or time frame or whatever, I'll, either high to low or low to high. All depends on which way it's going. So I could have 3 different ones going 3 different ways on there, but it seems to make sense to me. It's actually been helping a lot lately. So that was my question for you, if you do that or not.
Oh yeah, definitely. So the fib tool, yeah. So the fib tool is one of my favorite tools. Like I love it. So whenever I'm saying that the price may pull back to about 38% to maybe 50% and go up, that's because I'm drawing the fib tool with my eyeballs. So so let's just say, for example, I think we're going to go up. Now, the first thing I need to do is I need to zoom out. I need to go on the daily. I need to look to see what's going on. Price, of course, the Friday that happened. And we went up, down, we're starting to come up. Awesome. Depending on which way I'm looking for the price to go, whether it's going to be a bounce or a retracement, what's the difference? Well, for a bounce, I'm looking for the price to come down. I draw my fib once we have a pivot to see potentially where the bounce may be to start coming up. Now, if I'm looking for a retracement, I will draw the fib from the lowest point to the highest point of this pivot. And so now I'm looking for a retracement level, 38%, maybe 50%. This one went, I think, a little past the golden pocket before starting to come up. So it depends on which way you draw it from, depending on what you're looking at or looking for. So for example, this one, I'm thinking, you know what? I want to go long. And here's one very important part, the way that I teach and the way I mentor. I don't care what already happened. I'm looking at this moment of the trade. So there are some times where I say, yeah, man, I definitely enter and it goes against me and I lose. But that's due to my rules because I did not know it was going to come down. So here I'm looking for a bounce. So just to make this simple, let's come over here. Let's see here. I'm going to get start new. So right now I'm looking for a potential bounce. So because I'm looking for a bounce, I want to do a fib retracement going from the low to the high. Make sure my magnet tool is on. That's very important. Fib retracement. Now, how do I even know where to go? So that's another question too. If you're confused on where to draw it, go to a higher time frame. It's going to take away all of the ups and downs. So now it's very easy to see the lowest point. The lowest point is down here, and I use the wick. So now I go from the very bottom to the very top, which is this, and I'm looking to see for the bounce. And depending on what, then this is again what a lot of mentors don't teach you. The way you trade now is going to be completely different from the way you trade 3 months from now, 6 months from now, because the market is different. So in the very bullish market, which we're going to get to in just a moment, hopefully another few weeks, for the retracements, I'm looking for a retracement 236. That's where I'm looking. Right now, I'm looking for the 382. These are the minimums for the pullbacks, because you're going to see that quite a bit where we break out, we start going up, we have a small pullback, and then it takes off again. And if you're waiting for the golden pocket, whether your golden pocket is 0.5, 618, or if your golden pocket is 618, 65, if you're waiting for that, you're not going to be entering, because it's going to come down and then just shoot straight up. So depending on which portion or segment of the market we're in, depends on where we have a higher likelihood to retrace. These are never definites. Now, what I want to see is I want to see a 0.5. If it goes anywhere in the 0.5, 618, this is good. However, if it breaks the 618, this is when I get nervous. I get nervous because now it could reject off of the 618, past the 786, and now it just took away all the gains it just gave. So to answer the question in reference to the fib retracement, if I'm looking for a retrace, here, went into the golden pocket, came up here on the daily, broke this level, looking really good. Let me go to a 4-hour time frame. And then I make sure my magnet tool is on. Come over here to my horizontal ray. And price came up. I'll maybe go to the 1-hour time frame just so I can see more of the ups and downs. We can see that. So what makes a wick on a higher time frame is an actual candle body on a lower time frame. And that's why I went to the 4-hour, now the 1 hour. I'm going to go to the candle body. And then I'm also going to come down here to where the other candle body was on the higher time frame. So what that does, it creates a zone for me. And not only that, but I have the larger time frame pulled out. So this is telling me that it's good. It's good to potentially enter. Now what I could do, this is the lowest part of this extension leg. So now what I could do, and I show this a lot on the VIP sometimes, where I'll have a bunch of the, or 2 or 3, and I'll make videos on this. But here, this move, I would like to see it pull back. Let me take off the magnet tool. I would like to see it pull back to at least a 236, but I really want to see the 382. I want to see it do this, come up, come down, continue up. This is what I would like to see. If it comes down to here, it's still okay. But if it breaks down any further than that, if it does this number, now I'm kind of afraid that we're going to come up here to this zone and start doing this. Now, notice what I'm doing. I'm showing you my thought process in this moment. There's a lot of YouTubers that I watch. They already know what happened, so they're going to tell you which way they would go. But I'm showing you right here in the moment. So let's just see what happens. And let's go to the play. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. And it goes up from here. Okay. So now we did not pull back. We continue to go up. And what was the percentage of this? From here to here? Okay, 4%. Depending if I was going to use leverage or not. This right here was a great entry. Again, because we're breaking out. If I was doing a 2x, I might have. But now, since it's going higher up, now what I do is I do this. I'll bring this up. So now I'm looking for it to bounce here because it continued coming up. Okay, coming down. And okay, now. So now what I'm looking at, because again, these are different ways that I can enter. Now I'm looking definitely for an entry. Let's just say I didn't get this entry. I'm looking for an entry now. And what I need to happen is I need for this level to be broken. I'm going to enter on this level right here. And let's just see. Okay, I'm in. I'm in on this second candle. I'm in. And then, of course, depend on your leverage, depends on your targets. But this is how I'll use multiple fib retracements depending on what I'm looking at. So the bigger picture is, okay, well, it came down here. Looks like it might bounce. Then I go into a smaller time frame. I identify the extension leg. That's the most important thing to see where a possible retracement may happen. If it continued to move, then that's how I'll know the entry. Now, if we're going the opposite way, so let me go ahead and let me just delete all these. So let's go ahead and cancel the replay. And these are great questions, by the way. Absolutely great questions. Now let's see if we are looking for a downside. Now, how would we look for a downside? For example, this is a great one too. And again, what I'm looking for is the break of this. We have a high, lower high, potentially break of this to maybe come to the downside. So let's do, well, no, I don't want to use that one because I think that one was that crazy wick. Okay, we can use, yeah, this is good. Well, let me use this, and I'll explain why. So here, let's just say the market's changing. We were bullish for whatever reason. Now we're getting some bearish news. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. We're getting some bearish news. For everybody who's in here, and if you're enjoying the content, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, put a 1. Like, to me, this is really important because I give you the who, what, where, when, and especially the why. To me, this is how you trade. Like, I'm not blowing any smoke up your butt or nothing like that. I'm not saying, oh, well, it went up. This is why we entered. No, I'm showing you in the moment. So let's just say we had a really nice run up and the market's terrible. Something happened in the news. Maybe Trump tweeted something. Now I'm looking for us to potentially go down. So instead of looking for a retracement to where it might bounce, now I'm looking for potentially a dump. Now, in all honesty, I can't do that yet. I can't do my fib from the top to the bottom because it may come down more. And so here, what I would end up doing, here's the sideways action. And here's another thing too. Depending on how tight you want your levels, depends on if I can do my fib retracement, magnitude 1, from here. Let's go to the lowest point of this move because we went sideways. Now, if we go to a higher time frame, we really won't see this. We'll see this. Let's go 4 hour. We still don't see it. Let's go 12 hour. Now, let's go to a daily. On the daily, you can see it that, okay, we can't use this one. We have to use this one. So, and see how the levels increase in size. So here's your daily. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Then we get this, and we move it from the beginning of this move these levels get tighter. So depending on how tight you want your levels, then that depends on if you're going to pull it from here, or let's say you go into a smaller time frame, then you can pull it from here, from this start of this extension length. So this is very subjective, but with anything, the higher time frame you go, the better it's going to be. And Little Castle would put a 2. It's like, Joe, just do our charts. But these are great questions. And for me, for this one right here, I would think potentially, if we have bearish news, I would think that we'd come down like this, maybe do this number, come down, and then continue. Then as we start, potentially, if it comes down lower, for me, I want to see at least past the 618, because this is when I start getting bearish. Then what I'll do is I'll get my fib retracement, and I'll draw it from the top, make sure my magneto's on, to the bottom. Let's say this didn't happen. And then now what I'm doing is I'm looking for potentially price, and you'll see that these numbers flipped. And we'll see the price may come up to minimum to 236, but the very minimum I want in this scenario, and in most, is a 382, and then come down. And then same thing, just the opposite way. If it goes to 0.5, even better. If it goes to the 618, now I'm kind of cautious, because now it could bounce and start doing this number, and then we get bullish again. So to answer the question, and one thing that I do, and I'm sure y'all see it, is I go very deep into the questions, because I've had these questions hundreds and hundreds of times, and I'm pretty sure I know what the follow-up question is going to be, because I've received them so many times. So whenever I'm giving you an answer, it's based off of the question you asked, plus potentially any follow-up questions that you may have regarding this. But you can pull from the bottom to the top to see for the possible retracement, or from the top to the bottom to see for a possible bounce, to where it bounces, and then if it breaks the levels, then that's when we start, okay, well, more than likely it's going to come to the downside. Great question.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Joe. That was awesome. Yeah, you answered everything about it too, like you said. That's great. Geez, I don't know how much time we got left.
We got time for one more question, and I appreciate everybody putting the ones in the chat. You guys are the absolute best. I'm going to look to see if you've posted a question prior to my whole explanation. Please post the question again, and that way I can see it. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a dash. That way I know this is where I'm going to look from. So if you have any questions for any, whether it's for me or for Chris, make sure to address it to whoever your question is towards, and that way you can answer that. But go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Okay. So final question is, when did you start in all of this? Like, when was the year you started? How did you get into it? And how did you come up with the name Trade Intuition?
All right, very good. So I started back in 2020, and when I started, I was just buying. And usually I would buy when it pumped 30-40%. I was like, oh, it's going up, so I'd buy it, and then it would go up like another percent, and I'd sell it. So I really didn't know how to buy or really trade. I was just buying, and that was it. Then when it got to trading, I actually joined a paid group, paid some good money to be in there. And the advice that I would get a lot of times was Google it. I'm like, well, that doesn't help me. If I wanted to Google it, I could just not pay the group and just Google it myself. But that was like a lot of the beginning, where I'm asking, basic questions, because again, I don't know what's going on. And they would always say, Google it. Then, as far as my name goes, I had another channel, and one of my loyal subscribers and loyal viewers, he told me, he goes, Joe, you got to change your name, man. You got to change your name. My name initially was this person, because you know how everybody says, this person did this, and this person did that. This person made 800%. So my initial name was this person. And he says, Joe, you need to change it. And he's like, you put something with trade in there. So I'm thinking I'm trade this, trade that. And that person, I forgot what his name was, but he said, Joe, how about trade intuition? Oh, I love it, man. So that's how my name came to be about. And it's funny though, because on every single live stream that I go on where I'm in the chat, they're like, hey, we got a trade institution in the house. And it's like, no, it's not institution, but everybody says that. We got trade institution. And so I'll have to type in there, and it's without the S, and then they'll read it. The trade institution says there's no S in my name. Trade institution. A trade intuition. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, bro. Like, dude, it's all good. Everybody does it. So that's kind of like been a curse, but it's so true though. Like, you need intuition to trade, and trade intuition, in my opinion, it fits. So yeah, that's how I came up with the name. You got another question for me? Any other questions, Chris?
No, actually, really, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we do have a question from Steve. Steve says, okay. What is Chris? Let me read that. What is Chris' most useful favorite indicators? So what's your favorite indicators, Chris?
Well, my favorite tool, it's the Fibonacci.
Yeah, I have to agree. I love the fib because the fib tells you so much. It tells you where the price could retrace to, tells you where it could bounce from. It tells you different targets. A lot of people use the fibs, so I'm right there with you. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the show. Chris did amazing. Very happy for that. Oh, I don't know if I can send people somewhere. Let me go to the edits. No, I don't know how to. Yeah, I think Meet Gaming is on, but I'm not sure how to do it. Let's see here. But I do thank you guys very much, and so happy that Chris came on. Chris did an amazing job. Great questions. And once again, guys, thank you so much for being here. You guys are the absolute best. I don't have like an outro or intro system because I'm using Restream right now to have Chris on. But I do thank you guys. Make sure to like all the videos. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. And this is what we do. Like, we show you how to trade in the I would say it's not, in my opinion, this is the easiest way, but I hate saying easy. This is the less complicated way to trade. We show you support, resistance. We show you in the moment of the trade. There's traders that I ask questions. And matter of fact, he's actually has a Discord. So I'm gonna do story time real quick and then we'll leave. But he actually has a Discord. I joined his Discord and I'm trying to post a trade setup, but I don't know where to post it at. And he has a thing that says trade opportunities. But what he does is he does this. And to me, this is so extremely bad. He'll do something like this, where he'll go and let's go to this short setup. He'll do something like this, where now this already played out. But he'll post this in his group for trade opportunities. And he has hundreds, if not thousands of these. And I asked him, I said, man, like, all this stuff already played out. Like don't show me how I could have made money. Show me how I can make money. And then he has another group called Trade Outlook or Trade Setups or whatever. And that one is completely empty. Not one trade in there. And last night I was, watching him doing his live stream. And I told him, I said, yeah, I posted, but I think I posted in the wrong place. I saw the trade opportunities, but you're posting all the stuff that already happened. It's like, oh yeah, the trade setups or those are for, the ones that you think is going to work out. And I'm thinking, dude, you've had this group for a while now. You don't have one trade setup, not even one. not even from 3 months ago, because all he does is he shows you what already happened, how you could have made money. And people in his Discord, they're like, "Oh man, that's a great setup, great, congrats." And he replies with, "Oh no, I didn't take the trade. I'm just back testing." So this right here doesn't help you. What I'm showing you how the price may go, or based off of the stuff that we're looking at, that's what you need to learn, not what already happened. So with that being said, guys, I do thank you very much. You guys are absolutely the best. Chris, stay on. I got, we can talk after the show, but stay on here. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one. As always, let's make this money. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you.